by citizens whom this state had clearly failed. What I would like to see happen now, in order to bring this to a finality, is for the same leadership to be shown by the people who ran these institutions. As a practicing Catholic, I believe that elements in the Catholic Church have a responsibility to follow the leadership of the Taoiseach, and I sincerely hope that that happens. I have every confidence that the redress system will be generous, fair and easily managed, and I sincerely hope that the Catholic Church and the elements within the Catholic Church that ran these institutions pay their fair share in terms of the redress system.
Senator Williams.
I am really proud of our Taoiseach today. Proud that he had the capacity to deliver such a meaningful apology and indications of the compensation deal on behalf of the government and the people of Ireland to the Magdalene women. I've met with them this morning over in Buswells. They are so happy. They are walking 10 foot tall. They have said to me that such a weight has been lifted off their shoulders. They're new women today. But I'm not just proud for the Magdalene women, I'm proud for Ireland. We have had such a blackened and hidden past that yesterday what we did as a government, we have lifted the veil of that. And this has been a good day for women and for children and for young girls. And any of these people could have been our sisters, our mothers, our daughters. So this is highly significant, and I just want to put that on the record. I'm flabbergasted today, Leader, by a story in the Irish Times that our pillar banks could consider writing off some of the 400 million debt of independent news and media. The largest newspaper group with popular titles like the Sunday Independent and the Irish Independent. But what is the justification for that when they won't even write down the mortgages for hard-pressed homeowners, when we see today that AIB is considering raising variable rate mortgages for 300,000 homeowners? This is ridiculous. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm absolutely delighted to read that the senior government are highly concerned about this. But what I want to know, Leader, is, and I think the House would want to know this, is what conditions has our government set on state monies given to pillar banks? Are there preconditions in place? And my second question is, what type of accountability is in place by the state-owned pillar banks to us as an Oireachtas to answer us? We saw before, I am finishing on this, we saw before that they used our state funds to pay off failed bankers on their pensions, and the Taoiseach had to intervene. We need an answer here, and I think the whole House should join me in requesting this. Thank you.
Senator Morton.
Thank you, Caoirleach. I too would like to add my voice of support. I must say I was extremely proud to be in the House last night and consider it probably the finest moment of this government so far, when on Taoiseach and on Taoiseach and Deputy Martin paid the long over apology and paid due to the women who had suffered down through the years. I know outside at the vigil yesterday and speaking with some of the women, they were extremely grateful at the tone and the manner in which the apology was delivered. And as I said, it was long overdue. I too would like to echo Senator Conway's sentiments when he said that I hope now that the religious institutes who incarcerated these women will also pay their fair share. Caoirleach, I would also like to echo the calls this morning for a debate on direct provision, which has been called. I mean, I'm horrified to see in this morning's paper in the Irish Examiner this morning that €655 million have been paid to companies and individuals for accommodation to support asylum seekers, yet these people are on a pittance and have no direct right to work. So I too would echo the calls for a debate on this matter. Thank you.
The Leader.
Thank you, Caoirleach. And I think the vast majority of members of the House spoke and welcomed the Taoiseach's apology last night, and I think that if anybody that was in the House last night listening to the debate, it was a very emotional debate. There's no question about that. And I think the sincerity and the compassion of all speakers, I think, was clearly evident. And to see, first of all, the ladies from the Magdalene stand and clap the Taoiseach after his speech, and then to see the members, all members of the House, including the Ceann Comhairle, stand and applaud these women, I think it was a sight to behold, and I think that anybody that was present there, it couldn't but touch him for the emotion that was in that House last evening. And I think we all want to see a proper system of redress for the ladies of the Magdalene. And I think the fact that Mr. Justice Quirk has been appointed to look at a scheme, a proper scheme, and to report within 3 months, I think indicates that we will have action very soon on this matter. It's something that should have been acted upon many years ago. I think we all agree with that, but wasn't. But now that it has, and the apology has been given, I would hope that the redress for those wonderful ladies would happen fairly soon. Senator O'Brien also asked in relation to the Gardaí and that there was no Garda vehicles in a particular area. What I can say is that 203 extra vehicles were provided last year, and that 5 million extra has been provided this year for the purchase of vehicles for An Garda Síochána. But it is unacceptable what you stated, and I hope that that funding will address the matters in relation to availability of vehicles. Yes, this government totally respect Gardaí and value Gardaí and value the services of all involved, not alone in the Gardaí but in all the services, the ambulance men, nurses and everything else. And that's why we're looking for the fairest possible deal under Croke Park for all public servants. The first 5 weeks of the talks have been taking place, and they didn't concern people on the front line. The first 5 weeks have been taking place about the pay and conditions of other members in the public service, and indeed people on large salaries, which have been mentioned also, and the pensions of those also, which will have to be addressed and will be addressed. But at the end of the day, we have to have the fairest system for all public servants. Senator O'Brien raised on the order of business a couple of weeks ago a matter which I brought to the attention of the Minister for Justice. He stated that a directive from the Dublin Joint Policing Committee, that there was a directive in some way that burglaries would be overlooked and that a lenient case would be given to those. I have a reply from the Minister on that, and I think to put it on the record on the House. I refer to your letter of 5th of February 2013 concerning a matter raised on the order of business, suggesting that a directive had issued to the courts on the matter of sentencing in burglary cases. As you might observe, this is not a matter in which I or my department would involve itself. The Dublin Central Area Policing Subcommittee wrote to me on the matter and have been informed that no such directive has issued nor could issue. As you are aware, the position is that judges are independent in the matter of sentencing, as in other matters concerning the exercise of judicial functions, subject only to the Constitution and the law, and neither I, as Minister, nor my department could issue any such directive in this regard. So I hope that that clarifies the matter for the Senator which he raised. Senator Bacic raised the question of the Mangan report as did Senator O'Brien, and Minister Burton will be in here to speak on that Mangan report next week. Senator Leydon, in relation to the redress, and I've mentioned the fact in relation to Mr. Justice Quirk. Senator Burke, I'll be accepting his amendment to the order of business that his bill be published, that item 10 be taken as item 1. Senator Cloherty and indeed Senator Mullins and Moran in relation to the direct provision system, and that it should be scrutinised further. And I would agree. I think that it's an area that should be looked at. The fact that 650 million has been spent and given to private companies, I think that we should examine it a lot more than we've had in the past. And I think it's been acknowledged by Senator Cloherty that the asylum system and indeed the processing of claims has improved significantly since this minister took office, and will be certainly improved even further if possible. The waiting times have decreased significantly. Senator Hayden, in relation to the need for a national investigation unit to be set up, we'd certainly raise the matter with the Minister. Senator O'Morrico, in relation to Marion Price, and as he stated, the Taoiseach has agreed that he will raise that matter with the British Prime Minister, and I'm sure he's aware of the timescales involved, that the review will be coming up in a fortnight's time. So I'm sure that the Taoiseach will raise the matter with the British Prime Minister prior to that review. And I appreciate his comments. Certainly there's a lot more to be done, and the Good Friday Agreement Committee are working hard on many issues which the Senator raised. The Senator Whelan and indeed Senator Kelly, I think I've addressed that. I appreciate the concerns of frontline workers, and we all want a fair settlement for all workers within the public service. And as has been pointed out by Senator Gilroy, there are significant reductions in the wages of public servants a number of years ago, up to 17%, 14%, 3%, 17% reductions. Senator Coughlin, in relation to Dingle and the road signs, and I'm glad that people will be able to find their way around Kerry again. Senator Wilson, in relation to quote him, thanking the Fianna Fáil leader for apologising for spending 14 years doing nothing and having the apology, and I think, well, I think that's what you said, okay, Minister, that Mike Meow Martin had apologised for doing nothing for 14 years, and I won't comment any on that. In relation to the AIB proposed increases, I think we'll have to wait for that, and we'll see what the Minister for Finance does in that regard. Senator Daly, in relation to red tape, I can assure him that Minister Bruton in his area has done quite an amount in order to cut out the red tape for small and medium-sized enterprises, in particular in his department. But if he has any further details in relation to red tape in his area, we'd be quite welcome to have them investigated also. The 70 jobs that are being that are not being created as a result of red tape, I'm sure the Minister would like to hear about those as well, and if you have details, I'd be prepared to hand them on to the Minister, the relevant Minister. Senator O'Donnell, again agreeing that the apology is long overdue, and we'd certainly agree with him, and the redress, that it shouldn't benefit the legal profession, a matter which Senator Leydon raised also, and I think the Taoiseach specifically mentioned this, that the redress is for the women themselves, and we shouldn't have what happened previously,
If I may, with your respect, it has been from the Department of Health heretofore.
Leader, to continue.
It's from, sorry.
It did come from Department of Health sources, and it has been defunded.
Right. In relation to the conflict of interest between religious communities who are running hospitals and laundries, I would agree that there's certainly a need for greater scrutiny of the accounts in those institutions, and I would hope that will be done soon also. Senator Conway, I think I've addressed that matter, and indeed Senator Healy-Eames in relation to the debts, writing off of debts by the banks for Irish news and media, and what preconditions were put in place for banks. I'll address those remarks to the Minister for Finance and try and get an answer for the Senator in that. Thank you.
Senator Darragh O'Brien has moved an amendment to the order of business that a debate with the Minister for Justice on Garda resources, Garda pay and the loss of confidence in him by the rank and file of the Garda Síochána be taken today. Is the amendment being pressed?
Yes.
The question is that the amendment be made. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nil. The question is defeated.
Vote all.
Vote all. Amendment 1 in the name of Senator Darragh O'Brien. The question is that the amendment be made, and on that question the division has been challenged. Tellers Taw, Senators Diarmuid Wilson and Laura O'Murrough, Neil, Senators Paul Coughlin and Aidan Hayden. Voting interval 1 minute commencing now. Senator Mullins and Senator Healy-Eames not voting. The vote now stands at Taw 14, Neil 29. The question is defeated.
Amendment number 2.
Senator Colin Burke has moved an amendment to the order of business that item 10 be taken before item 1. The leader has indicated that he is wishing to accept this amendment. Is the amendment agreed? Amendment agreed. Is the other business agreed? Agreed. Item 1, Senator Burke. Item 10, Senator Burke.
That's what he's supposed to move.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Silence in the chamber, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Senator Burke.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. I formally move that the bill, the Civil Law Missing Persons Bill 2013 would be sent forward for publication. This is a bill which the Law Reform Commission have given a very extensive report on recently, and I think it's an important issue that we should progress and move forward. It's in relation to missing persons and dealing with their affairs, and basically I'm just moving that the bill will be published.
Yeah, is it agreed? Agreed.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Item 1. When is it proposed to take second stage in relation to Senator Burke's bill?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, is that agreed? Agreed. Item 1.
Senator Mullins, can I ask you to move the motion, please?
Can I move the motion?
Is the motion agreed?
Is the
Agreed.
Agreed.
Item 1.
That's on the bill of Senator Burke.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Is that agreed? Agreed.
You have that there in front of you. That's what's in front of you. All right.
2, Houses of the Oireachtas Commission Amendment Bill 2012, Seanad Bill amended by the Dáil, report on final stages. This is a Seanad Bill which has been amended by the Dáil. In accordance with Standing Order 118, it is deemed to have passed its first, second and third stages in the Seanad and is placed on the order paper for report stage. On the question that the bill be received for final consideration, the Minister may explain the purpose of the amendment made by the Dáil, and this is looked upon as the report of the Dáil amendment to the Seanad. For the convenience of the Senators, I have arranged for the printing and circulation to them of this amendment. A Senator may contribute once on the amendment. I remind Senators that the only matter that may be discussed is the amendment made by the Dáil. The question is that the bill be received for final consideration. And Tara, I call on you to speak on the subject matter of amendment number 1.
Tilscrew and Sean's and Seanad, me na sauna, Shachacha, and Billy Commission here, and Oireachtas, Yasuga, Vila, Agus a Doyeg, Agus a Nation, and me, Anna, and Billy Shoggy, and Dáil, Agus Yerin Shop, and Yasu, Technual, and Billy, and Billy should, I get fire. So she wrote on San Village, the antes a host on San Village, the Billy away freed, and gave Vila, Agus a Doyeg, shall gave Agus a Treejeg, Agus gave Vila, Agus a Nai. But Yasu technical shot of Malta against the Director Parliament, active and tact on here, and Oireachtas Yasu, ever a dog gave his Doyeg, a dear in a beyond the Shakacha. Agus Doris and Yasu shot, you antes took it on action. Sanachta at the level of a youth. Motion, Moradur be Yasu at and Shaw, Yasu Tekinul, a genu and Sandal, Agus Anoya, Morga Genu Sandale, Agus Tilscrew and Billy and Shaw and St. Seanad, that should the obligated heart to rash, Agus and Yasu Caddy and St. Seanad, come on.
Margaret Tower. Senator Thorne. Senator Clardick.
Les Harley agus a chéad fáilteúta ar a Stát agus Mar cyfnod gyma fi mwyd y wafr ond fili sian ar y fi tŵn sia rifo sia agos ani mwyd ond tafod y talesh o hif cohahw na gneich eig sy'n lawan yn sy'n cwrs i astrachan agos gwyl lar nhw hoi yn y sierfi sy'n sia fwy hi cyn erictys agos ffaiti mwyd rifo sia mar ffaiti mwyd rifo na barintach ma a un yn tran ag yn astrachan yn sias na tich agos bwalym ond jesio glachel e ahentas o hortof sy'n fwy'n taciacht fad o hwgn sy'n dŵn sy'n trwy'n ar ire nach wyl cwpl les o wele techn cyn dar lom maid lenar gwyl grahi yn y rhifan y gweilgyn sia ce gwyl jesio ag mar tamad yn y ffwyl lahar lawr tes gweilge sy teach sia ni ffeidlym gwyl grahi ar ffadi yn y rhifan y gweilge ni ffeidlym lesu wala rhifan y gweilge mar hompl agos mar sy'n agos fi'n y sŵn gymryd gyda lehdi sy'n gylesu teach i chwn cyn agos nŵr y ta da chwmwyd y bohor sy'n agos y mwyd y fe ag astrw dyrir mar y tamwyd y gael yr ai sílim nachmach an stadas an dar grad a hort an ghailge ó híh na bilítá a aitsú mar gur céimar góla nachhfuil mu a fáilsú na bilí go cóin nach ascailge agus asperla gur chuir do réaltas siar an cinenne atá an maidir lei sin. Sílan go mete táhaach amá chéanna os de bhfuil mu a plé na graihíise tigtar chum go raibh folklór parlamente an rihiise. Agus dionú rins plé ag tostal na gailge go divan ag idir seachtain na faoi an achlíocht agus an téirmíocht a úsáid muide sa Seanad agus sa dáil maidir le bilí éagsúil agus mar sinnde agus tá sé táhaach beidir gine úsrádáir sin agus le deiscin na Seanad agus na teachtaí atá a úsáid na gailge agus dionna aníirecht ó híomh na gailge a bheití legan don folklór parlamente sin beidir a ailsúgus a hort gona bíl ar fad. Sílan go mete úsáideach agus bhildainna cinint fiú ag idir seachtainna go bheití fiúnar tá bilí teachtamach a bheití láirta sin ran na gceiste fan faoi. Bilí agólas faclaí a bheith cumánta go bilí sin as gailge choláthar dún le go machmid an anna dúsáid agus mu plé na bilí ach. Sílan go mete sin úsáideach agus go rudéis sin beidir ar dáilteach ran na gceiste héin leis mar go bhfuil an téirmíocht achabach. Go generalta animid gur ahrúbach technúla tá gceist lei seo. Mallamú tú faoin bilí seo hort chun cín tagamid leis sin leasúir buna agus túramúide takeíocht leis leis sin leasú seo a dhéanana gur maith.
Seanad O'Byrne.
Bhfuilm sa freisin takeíocht leis an mille seo tá ásairn ghfuil an bille seo dul tríd. Bhhaidlumm sa má bhuichas a go bháil leis lemmuintear an comisiún agus an Vivian Ivahig as an caidan offagiúil le corach ar fáil cúpla mí ó hin. Massam is cápéis iontaché cápéis an a háach dé agus bheith mise i rá leis na scolna go háire thar timpeall na tíre an caidan seo áil agus chuirna I suppose an bile seo bunús rachtúla ar an gaiid an freisin. So tá muide sásta le sin caithmid a gcónaí bheith ag tuairt cabhracht don teanga agus ag tuairt deis do ghaoine an teanga úsáid agus éon tím leis an mulla a chur má chomhlachaí an Seanadóir ó property os cór an Seanad an seo go méid folklór Parliament a folklór bille bheith sé sin anna úsáideach fiúháin a daoine a bhfuil gaeilge rééisúnta acu. So muide ag taú lei seo agus tásúla goin go racis an rock seo ag bhaim go luú gur mágad caiithir.
Seanad O'Byrne.
It's just befráilm chuir leis an méid atá rátaigh an dá chomhlacha an seo an Seanadóir ó Clogherty agus Tomás an Seanadóir ó Bryn. Aon tíam leis an Seanadóir ó Clogherty faoin méid atá rátaigh is mór an trú nach má tamid a géirí chur le úsáid na gaeilge sna títhe seo sa Parliament gur chóir go mé sin an gach gnéide a dhéanana trí gaeilge agus gomach ar gomas multi agus leasa a bhola I tríbheán na gaeilge cumá. Tá masú leis go dtiocfaíonn lá sin tá samgur de réir a chéile a thugtar na cosláin agus mar a dúirt an Seanadóir ó Bryn freisin. Bhach sé an úsáideach dá bhéit dáach folklór ar fáil an seo feicim go bhfuil an trealamh an seo ar fáil doing I leog chun éisteacht leis an legan an astracán gaeilge béarla más gá doing ni bheith éon aibh agam sa le go mach na leabhar seo an folklór ar fáil ag gach ag bíonse freisin agus churbhah sé an mar bheabhrú dúin i leog go gachamis ar níireachta dhéine a bhéad agus ar féidirling. Mar sin tásúla am go dtiocfaí an lá sin agus just gon lá aniu tréistíom leata aire agus takeíom leis an mille leasa seo.
Gur mágad, Seanad. Tara.
Gur mágad a chaithirlaí agus a dúis bhhailm When we have done the Seanad as an Javain, as an Taki at the Taderia, Aku don Villishaw, Shinum, Mordutu Gor Koha, Ayenu, Obud Avi, Rinche at the Gay off Gigi Shaw, agus Scotia Gadir, Egdol Rasha Rish Gigi, Ranag and Nashkain, and Shortieta Ara, or Bonnie one starch. Agus ein rud a diantar son úsad na Gaeilge tithe an Oireachtas go bhfuil an chuid a smód den bháú agus an chuid a smód den chreidiúint dó nóbair sin a gáil go dtí Ranag an Astrachain. Agus sinnom go bhfuil sin a bhaach go mór cur leis an nóbair sin an sa blianta amachróin ó Harla go bhfuil an dé ar an cóchaite le chéile inis agus go bhfuil ibrithe breise sinnom trú na ceathar slí I Ranag an Astrachain. Tá Maltaí dianta ag na Seanadarí maidir le folklór Parliamente. Agus tá mé an seán agus tá 6 cymniúgum mus féadum éachar mar sin go raibh folklór de chéine léiginom. Agus go raibh abertí agus tím an Seanadar a marthú ag crathú a chéine go bríomhar mus féadum éachar mar sin agus siadum a Seanadar go raibh a líhéid an san námachaí thart. Agus nóid dhéanam teanghil, le Ranag an Nashkain, le Ferma an bhfuil fáil ar an bhachtlar sin go fáil, agus ibre dó mus rud é go bhfuil fáilir go guthair ar fáile dos na teachtaí agus dos na Seanadarí an aine sin lu. Sinna go máú fiúntathe sin agus tá mé cinnti go bheith an Ranag an Nashkain teart agus coidú agus cabhar agus freastal thuirt ar arbhise a bhfuil suma go úsáid a bhaint as an Gaeilge. Maidir le duine ag ólais nar bhíon bilí a gur ar fáil, máú fiúnta agus cinnte go gurí ofiigí mar rinne an máú sin ribh Ranag an Nashkain cumáid. Agus mar a dúirt be tá mé anabhuatíh as an cóabrú, tiltú an beile an san teasio, tá sé a ráisiige an náidir hoslaí sé agus ar nóid bé sé an a reachtaíart gan bhfuil agus be muid lig ag féimú faoi na cuaramí úra atá a dúirt inis dó Ranag an Nashkain. So a ríis gur mí maithigh is bhfuil daciad bus ar cóabrú agus ar nóid cothair bhfuil go tuairimí a láthair na Ranage agus tá mé cinnte go méid tarú fónta ar. Agus beidir bhfuil sé go deachar é dhéanú a Seanadar mar tá cymneagin go léir go raibh leor an bhfuir a bhhain, beidir bhfuil sé is chlá a mo chuirtar a gláiríise is cinnte go mé sé bunaithe ar an chaidan a bhfuil uasgáú dianta ar mar a talúite ag an Seanadar ó Brunne sin agus sin go rud maithe go méú mar dúirt bé go mó caidan a bhhain agan go léir. Is féidir go léir a go canúhaintíomh agan. Ca chu tú is condain na mí agus tá géar ferta condain na mí. nó tú na ngáil nó féidir go canúhaintí a chuineáil a sin go sé anna háhairta go mó caidan scrífa agan ar a léad. So gur mí maithigh.
Tara. This report stage agreed? Agreed. Next stage is that the bill do now pass. Is that agreed? Agreed. Can I call on the acting leader to move the suspension of the House until 10:30 or 12:30?
I move the House be suspended until 12:30.
10:30 p.m.